Hello class, this is a video tutorial on solving two-steps equations. This is the second video in a two-part series. So by now, you should always remember your inverse operations, and that when we're balancing equations, which means when we do an operation on the left-hand side, we must also do it on the right-hand side of the equation. Now the new thing that we have to take into consideration is that groups and fractions are considered as one term. And what that means is if we had, for example, 3 outside x plus 7 equals 24. This is considered one term. This entire group is considered one term. And as a result, if we wanted to, well, if we tried to do the operation of minus 7, this is actually not allowed. So I'm just going to make it very clear, this is not allowed. Exclamation marks. And the reason for that is that this 3 is operating the entire group. Think of as the 3 as a guard to these. We can't touch or operate on the x plus 7 not until we remove that 3. And similar to this, if we had a fraction, a big fraction, x plus 4 over 3 is equal to 6. If we tried to do the operation of minus 4, so I'm going to circle that there. If we tried to do the inverse of minus 4 like this, once again, this is not allowed. Because I want you to consider and remember that if you have big fractions like this or groups, this is actually considered as one group. This entire fraction on the top is one group. So we have to remove that 3 on the bottom first before we can operate on the numerator, on the top. Okay, so let's do a few example questions here. Let's begin with the groups. So let's have a few questions here. Let's go with question 1A. We have 3 outside x plus 7 is equal to 24. So how we go about solving these questions is actually what we do is since this is considered as one group, what we can do actually is if this is 3 times everything in this group, we can actually do an inverse operation on this already. This inverse operation of this is dividing by 3. That's dividing by 3. This will result in that 3 going away, which leaves us with this group here. But since it's now open, we don't have to write the brackets anymore. 24 divided by 3 is 8. The inverse operation of plus 7 is minus 7 minus 7. This will give us x on its own is equal to 1. Let's do a few more questions here. We have question B, 2 outside x minus 7 equals 22. Once again, we can already apply an inverse operation from here. That is 2 times this group. So this is the inverse of this is divide by 2, dividing both sides by 2. And I understand in previous videos that we said we apply it to all terms, But because the group or the fraction is one term, we actually only have to divide it by this, because this is considered one term. So this will leave us with x minus 7, open as the group is now open. 22 divided by 2 is 11. The inverse operation here is plus 7 plus 7. This will leave us with x is equal to 11 plus 7 is 18. And this last one, I'm not going to be writing the inverse operation, and I'd like for you to pause the video and give it a go yourself. 5 outside x minus 15, close the brackets, is equal to 40. I'd like you to go ahead and pause the video and give it a go. Okay, hope you gave it a go. And here we go. We're going to divide by 5 first, which opens up the group. 40 divided by 5 is 8. We're going to be adding 15, which leaves us with x is equal to 8 plus 15 is 23. So x is equal to 23. Now let's take a look at a different style of question here. If we go to question 2a, we have x plus 4 over 3 is equal to 6. And once again, like we said, we can't operate on these ones in the numerator until that big fraction has gone. Okay, so how do we get rid of that big fraction of divide by 3? Well, if this is dividing by 3, the inverse operation must be multiplying by 3. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3. And once again, you might be asking, why aren't we multiplying the x and the 4 by 3? Well, that's because this entire fraction, everything underneath this line here, is considered one term. So since we multiplied this by 3, we've already multiplied the entire term. So this leaves us with x plus 4, because that 3 is now gone. 6 times 3 is 18. We're now going to subtract 4 because that is the inverse, so we're going to minus 4 minus 4. This will leave us with x on its own. It's equaling to 18 minus 4 is 14. Question 2b is x minus 8 divided by 7 is equal to 3. Once again, this one here, the inverse is times by 7. I'm going to times both sides by 7. That will leave us with that numerator x, well, the top x minus 8 is equal to 3 times 7 is 21. The inverse of this is adding 8, so we're going to add 8 to both sides. This will leave us with x on its own, because that 8 is now gone. 21 plus 8 is 29. We'll do one last one here. Question C. And once again, I'd like for you to pause the video, give it a go, and unpause it when you're ready to check your answer. Here we go. We're going to be multiplying by 7 first to remove that. So we get x minus 8 equals 10 times 7 is 70. We're going to be adding 8, which will give us x is equal to 78 plus 8 is 78. Okay, hope that helped you a lot, and best of luck in solving equations.